Today we're going to talk about what buyers and sellers need to be aware of during fire season, and we're starting now. Hi, I'm Lisa Salt with RE/MAX Vernon Salt Fowler. Today I would like to dedicate this video to all the people who have been evacuated from their homes, those who've lost their homes so sadly to the most recent wildfires in our area, and to the firefighters, of course, and those who have fought those fires so bravely this brutal summer. During a time like this, we have a tendency to focus on some of those things that we otherwise would take for granted, like house insurance. It's something we all, or at least most of us, have if we're homeowners, yet something we just pay for to renew every year without giving it much thought. I know at least I have. Now, when you're selling or buying during wildfire season, there are some very important considerations to take into account. First and foremost, any of you who have been selling or buying during this season probably know this already, but a buyer can't get a mortgage without home insurance. When you think about it, it makes sense that banks aren't going to lend you a bunch of money if they can't ensure that their investment is protected. Most insurance companies won't underwrite an insurance policy for anyone or any property that's within 25 to 100 kilometers of an active wildfire. And to make things even more difficult, insurance companies won't bind an insurance policy for a property more than 30 days before closing date. So if you buy a house or you sell a house on, say, July 15th, and closing date isn't until August 30th. The buyer cannot actually buy the insurance until August 1st. So wildfire starts and is out of control July 28th, within 25 to 100 kilometers of this house, potentially no insurance available. At this point in the North Okanagan here, we still have one company that we know of that is still selling insurance in our area, albeit at a higher premium. However, as a result, the sales are still closing on time, which is a blessing for sure. Now, saying that, we've heard that some insurance companies, even when the insurance was bound within that 30 days, if it wasn't paid in full, the insurance companies canceled the coverage. So the important part to know is make sure within that 30-day period to buy and pay for your house insurance. Now, the question is, how do we as realtors protect our buyers and sellers from this potential issue? Because again, if there's no insurance, then there's no mortgage and there's no sale. The answer is we add provisions to every contract to ensure if some catastrophe happens and the sale cannot close on time, that it can at least close legally at a later date. This is called a force majeure clause, which is a legal term meaning unforeseeable circumstances that prevent someone from fulfilling a contract. And not being able to get your mortgage due to not being able to get insurance due to an out-of-control wildfire is an unforeseeable circumstance. The clause we input into all of our offers states, notwithstanding clause 12 below, if either party, despite its best efforts, is delayed from completing the transaction due to acts of God, landslide, flood, tempest, washout, fire, lightning, disaster, earthquake, storm, epidemic, pandemic, quarantine, or civil disturbance within a 100-kilometer radius of the property, then the affected property's solicitor shall provide notice, the force majeure notice, to the other party's solicitor of such event no more than 3 business days prior to completion date and no later than noon on the completion date. Upon receipt, the completion, possession, and adjustment dates shall be extended one time to the first business day that occurs 30 days following the force majeure notice. So this will protect the buyer and seller from a non-completion at least for the first 30 days. It doesn't frustrate the contract, meaning the contract's null and void. It allows the contract to remain in effect and just close in 30 days. So you can see there that includes almost everything that could happen, any act of God, including around our parts, flooding, fire, pandemic/quarantine. So if you are in a position where you're looking to buy in a wildfire area during or around wildfire season, or if you're selling anywhere around the same area, you want to ensure that this clause is included in any offer to purchase. It protects both parties. Hopefully this helps, and we also have a link to the Fire Smart Begins at Home manual down below, which is put out by the BC Wildfire Service to reduce the potential impacts of wildfire on your home. Thanks for watching, and stay safe, everyone.